Super excited to be here. All right. So before we start, let me talk a little bit about who I am and why I'm doing this talk. Super excited to be here. My name is Ilya Gaysinskiy. I've been at the firm for about the last 10 years or so. Right now, I'm responsible for a number of platforms we call Developer Experience. But first and foremost, I'm a software developer. I've been doing that my whole career and my whole life. That's really what I enjoy doing. And ultimately, I'm quite a computer geek. I enjoy programming languages. I enjoy esoteric programming languages. I just really love the process of writing software. I've been at the firm for the last 10 years. So when I've been approached to ask to run a developer experience program at the firm and really transform the way that our developers work, I thought it was an absolutely amazing opportunity, and frankly, quite a humbling opportunity, right? To be able to influence and really change the way some of the best engineers in the industry work is truly a humbling opportunity, and something I'm really genuinely excited about. I also run firm's Tech Fellow program, which is our program to seek out top technical talent at the firm. And all of technology fellows have significant impact and influence on how we work as engineers at the firm. So what I'm going to talk about today is this idea that we're introducing of financial cloud. And I'll talk about what we actually think financial cloud is and why we, Goldman Sachs, is uniquely positioned to actually bring it to bear and make it real and transform financial industry. And throughout the talk, we'll actually talk about some of the innovations we are bringing forward, and really, all of these innovations are there for you as a developer community to utilize. So we consider all of you our clients, and we'll talk more about that in a second. So if you think about, world is changing. Obviously, this has been a super interesting year for many reasons. Tech industry is changing and has been changing for a number of years. Financial industry is changing quite a bit as well. And of course, Goldman Sachs is changing as well. All of these changes, in fact, are accelerating. So to give some examples, obviously, Goldman's been in the business for quite a while. We have a number of specialized product lines. We're really focused on delivering and satisfying financial needs for our clients. But there's a change happening. Our clients increasingly demand a more uniform and more interconnected, fully digital experience. I mean, all of us as consumers are sort of used to being able to take an iPad or a phone and be able to access our checking account, our savings account, our brokerage account. And frankly, our corporate clients are starting to expect and demand the same. We call that uniform digital experience, One Goldman Sachs. Now, the reality is, of course, technology has been at the center of what Goldman's been doing for quite a while. And if you think about, traditionally, technology has been used to take existing businesses and make them more efficient, make them more nimble, look for new opportunities in those existing businesses. I have a few examples here. Most folks could relate to either electronification of the equities market or, electronic trading. But really, I'll give you a sort of an example from when I just first joined GS in 2010, and I was working in the derivatives middle office. And I remember we were still receiving faxes from our counterparts with derivative contracts. And obviously, a lot has happened since then. But these are all processes and all businesses where technology came in after the fact and started optimizing and improving those businesses. However, over the last few years, I think we see a slightly different trend emerge. We see businesses built from a ground up, from a clean sheet of paper. Not encumbered by historical decisions, legacy infrastructure, or legacy processes of doing things. And we call these digitally native businesses. We have a number of these businesses, and I think it gives us a really unique opportunity to really think about from scratch what it means to satisfy our clients and what do our clients actually need right now, as opposed to what was the processes that they are used to over the last 10, 15, 20 years. And that's a really unique opportunity. Obviously, the one key example that a lot of folks will be familiar with is our consumer business. And as probably most of you will know, Goldman Sachs, for the first 150 years of its existence, never really catered to a consumer or retail client base. So when we entered into this business line in 2016, there was a lot of questions, why are we doing that? And again, I think this is an opportunity for us to really re-envision what it means to serve our clients with no headwinds that would be associated with historical models or brick and mortar branches, bank branches, right? We can actually fully re-envision what a consumer banking experience might look like, in 2020. So we've entered this business in 2016, and we've been disrupting it ever since. Just to give you a little anecdote, Apple Card is a project I was lucky to be a part of, and when it launched, and I was signing up for the Apple Card on my iPhone, and the fact that I could do this just by entering a few key details and was able to get approval and get the credit card in literally a handful of minutes. I thought that's what financial industry should look like. That's what disruption looks like. So it's really humbling to be in the forefront of a lot of these changes. But at the same time, there's one interesting thing that you can see on this slide is that we're launching more and more of these products. And as you can see, the trend is actually accelerating, which raises a bunch of interesting questions for us as engineers. How do we continue to launch increasing number of products that are disrupting the financial landscape? How do we make sure that these products continue to be maintainable over time? How do we make sure that we can sustain this rapid innovation? How do we make sure that we can continue to deliver businesses that are fully digitally native, that are truly disruptive, that are efficient, that are nimble, and stay efficient and nimble over time? And that's ultimately what we engineers are here for, right? We build foundational platforms, we build building blocks to provide the underpinnings to make this possible. So as we have been embarking on this journey, an idea emerged. An idea we now call Goldman Sachs Financial Cloud. What do we mean when we say financial cloud? What we realize is that we've been in the business for 150 years. We have world-class engineering organization. But what we are realizing is we have a unique opportunity to actually re-envision the way we build software in the financial industry. Goldman Sachs Financial Cloud is an idea to provide a developer platform. As I said in the beginning, really we're targeting developers as our clients in this case. So a developer platform that can provide and expose some of our existing services, our banking, our trading, our risk capabilities, and provide them as enabling infrastructure for our clients. And to provide an infrastructure that we ourselves can build on as well. So this is not only a service that we'll be providing for our external clients, but we will consume as well. I mean, if you think about this, sort of the obvious parallel here, public cloud providers have been abstracting away complexity of building infrastructure, either compute, storage, networking, and really accelerating the way we build software today. The idea here is that Goldman Sachs can abstract away the complexity that is required to build financial products and financial software, be that because of the capital required, be that because we understand regulatory requirements. There are a variety of different factors that provide us this advantage to provide this platform to abstract away that complexity. And by the way, the idea here ultimately is to expose all of the technology capabilities that we have today at the firm that we've built over the years and make them available as part of this unified financial cloud. Again, a developer platform for all of you to use. That developer platform will be available and is already starting to get available at developer.js.com through an API-based web portal. So in order for this to actually work, there's a number of key principles that we need to really focus on. I touched on the first one, which is we really need to make sure that this infrastructure that we are providing will be the same infrastructure we leverage for ourselves as well as for our external clients. In other words, the idea is we'll use the same exact APIs that we're exposing on developer.js.com to use for internal products. Obviously, this means that we'll be able to experience good things and bad things and improve those services because we ourselves will be our first client. It's also really important to differentiate and understand what does it actually mean to build platforms over specific business solutions. Now, we're obviously always super focused on meeting our clients' needs. But what is really important is to make sure that the platforms we build and the products and capabilities we build can be leveraged across all of our clients. I also mentioned that we're very much focused on APIs. And the idea here is that this will be an API business first and foremost. We will be providing APIs to all of you, the developer community, to be able to use, to consume, to build your own financial products. As I mentioned, developers will be our clients. And for financial cloud to be successful, we really need to make sure that we treat developers as our clients. And I'll talk more about what does it actually mean to treat developers as clients. And of course, in order for us to sustain this, we really need to avoid technical debt from the start. There's a lot of talk around, what does it mean to build, to provide innovation and to have a speed of execution. But really, the only way you would know whether or not you have a sustainable model is if you measure it over the long term. We really need to make sure that we provide these innovative building blocks and that they are, repeatable, maintainable over the long term. And one of the other key principles I'll touch on is we really need to make sure that we're looking outside the firm first. In other words, we are not here to rebuild low-level infrastructure. There are awesome products out there that do this really well with the right level of investment. We are here to provide an abstraction on top of low-level infrastructure and on top of the financial building blocks required to build financial products to make it easier for you as developer community to build financial products. So hopefully you get the idea that this is a really, really innovative way of thinking about building software. So, I talked a lot of theoretical things, but let's look at a practical example of something that we've done recently that gets you an idea of what this might look like. So I'll touch on a brand new business. It's a brand new business called transaction banking that really was just an idea on a piece of paper, 24 months ago. This was delivered in just 18 months from scratch. One of the things that folks don't realize necessarily when they think about Goldman Sachs, an institution that's been in the business for 150 years, that we build new businesses and we build new software, greenfield software all the time. Transaction banking is one such example. When I think about what is transaction banking, we call this treasury of the future. What does it actually mean, treasury of the future? I think we as individuals a lot of times don't realize that we're used to being able to access our checking account from a phone, and we used to be able to send a payment from the phone. But the reality, a similar experience for corporate treasurers who are basically doing the same thing on behalf of their corporations is really, really encumbered legacy infrastructure and legacy processes. To make that payment is significantly harder and painful with all the existing workflows that exist today in the industry. So when transaction banking was born, the idea was to disrupt and really modernize that experience for treasurers. And now, 18 months later, engineered completely from the ground up, we provide these innovative services and solutions, be that liquidity solutions, ability to send payments, analytics, ability to run real-time reports, make domestic and global payments in over 120 currencies. Think about that. And be able to track that in real time. This is what disruption looks like. So how do we actually do this? Again, starting from scratch, just 18 plus months ago. This is an example of what we call digitally native business, a business that is built by engineers first and foremost. 75% of people involved in this project were engineers. Building from scratch, completely digitally native platform. 100% on public cloud, 100% API-based, secure, reliable, and first and foremost client-centric. It was really exciting to be part of that journey, to see that emerge from an idea to an actual execution. So hopefully you get a sense of what building financial products of the future might look like. So what do we actually need to do? What do we need to do to make this possible? What does it mean to actually bring financial cloud into reality? As I mentioned a little bit in the beginning, I am focused on developer experience at the firm. Developer experience is a set of platforms and capabilities that are enabling infrastructure, if you will, to make the vision of Goldman Sachs financial cloud a reality. So in order for us to provide this rapid pace of innovation, we really need to make sure that we have a scalable and repeatable process to launch new businesses. We really need to set up what we call enabling infrastructure. So the idea here is we focus on reusable foundational platforms. To give you some idea, roughly a quarter of all engineers at Goldman Sachs are focused on building these enabling foundational platforms. Let's take a few examples. API platform. For financial cloud, an API-driven developer business, we really need to make sure that we have a robust, consistent API platform with common value-add services, such as authentication, telemetry, observability, etc. We provide the centrally managed consistent CICD platform to provide rapid pace of and safe pace of delivery of software change. Now, one of the key tenets is mobile first. And all of our customers and clients expect a modern mobile experience. So to that end, we have a consistent centrally managed process around delivering mobile applications. And lastly, but not least, is the idea that we need to treat developers as clients means that we need to really engage with our developer community. To that end, we actually created a new function that we call developer relations. That function is focused on interacting with our developer community, effectively our clients of the future, and really treating them as clients. What does it actually mean to treat developers as clients? I mean, it sounds great, but what are we actually doing? So the way we went about this is really taking a product-centric approach to this. What does that actually mean? Well, just like any other product that you would be launching, you would be taking a data-driven, quantitative and qualitative approach to measuring client experience. We are doing the same here. We have a team of professional user researchers that are performing ongoing and focused research to providing the right feedback loop to make sure that we understand what our clients, developers actually need, what is working, what needs to be changed. And to give you some idea, when we initially launched this program, within an hour of launching this program, we had hundreds of developers participating in chat rooms, providing us ideas and feedback, and really providing a vibrant and establishing a vibrant, engaging developer community. You know, as a software developer and as a computer geek, to me, it's super exciting to interact with engineers from all walks of life to really shape the future. The second building block that's really important is something I'm really excited to introduce in this session, is this idea of a developer collaboration across financial industry. To make financial cloud a reality, we all need to speak the same language. What do I actually mean by that? We need a common language to encode complex financial concepts. That's really the hard part, in many ways, of working in the financial industry. We have very complex financial models that we need to model, encode in software, and then share data associated with those models. Throughout human history, this is the problem always that existed in trade. There was always a need for something that is called common or trade language, something that's typically known as lingua franca, a language that is needed to make communication possible between people in countries that don't necessarily share the same language. Just like some of the common internet protocols, be that IP, DNS, HTTP, these protocols are required to make internet communication possible. The same idea applies here. So to that end, we actually recently open sourced a brand new programming language and platform that we call Legend. That platform is there to provide a collaboration model for financial data modeling. The idea here is to provide capabilities to encode data contracts, create and share common data models. Ultimately, we are working on the same financial instruments. All of us are reinventing the wheel of what does the derivative look like? we can join those efforts to reduce time to market for all of us and to be able to use each other's services in a more efficient and correct way. Legend is already used by a number of institutions outside of Goldman Sachs, and we are really, really excited for you to check it out. So look, in closing, we talked about the idea of financial cloud. First and foremost, a developer platform that provides the abstraction to make building financial software easier. We provide an overview of why Goldman Sachs is uniquely positioned to deliver that idea and what we're actually doing about it. As I mentioned earlier, you can start to check out some of these services today if you go to developer.gs.com. I'm hoping this was a useful talk, and I'm really looking forward to some engagement post this talk. Thank you very much.